Alright guys, and welcome to the Audi S1. So I've just filled this thing up with 99 octane fuel. Normally I'll put sort of 95 or 97 in, but this pump that I just stopped at just so happened to have 99, so I thought, why not? Let's just try it out. And it actually has made a difference. It's not huge, but it's definitely there. It sort of makes the throttle response slightly more responsive, and anyway, I digress. Welcome to the S1. So you're probably wondering where this car sort of sits in my lineup and why I bought it. And I gotta be totally straight, my girlfriend drives this 99% of the time, and that's cool. She totally loves this thing, but it's quite significant to me at the minute because I don't have a manual car. I love to jump in this car whenever I feel like staying on top of heel and toe, or just driving with 3 pedals and a stick. The S1 is inherently super fun. It's 230 horsepower, which, okay, the figures we normally talk about, that doesn't sound that great, but you've got to remember this car is a sort of very small, compact, lightweight car, and 230 horsepower in this thing is actually quite a lot. Now, in normal front-wheel drive cars in this class, 230 horsepower would be crazy, predominantly because front-wheel drive cars with lots of power typically suffer from something called torque steer. Now, torque steer is when the front tires basically can't cope with the power of the car, and when you accelerate remotely too hard, they sort of break traction, and you get this sort of squirm under your wheel. It just feels odd. Now, of course, what's unique about the S1 is Audi managed to wedge in their Quattro all-wheel drive system. So what is quite different about the S1? Obviously, essentially, it looks like a pumped-up Audi A1, but what Audi had to do in order to accommodate its Quattro all-wheel drive system was completely redesign from scratch the rear half of this car. You know, they got to squash in an extra diff. It's a game changer for this car. Honestly, you can floor this thing flat in first on a wet road, and it just plants it down, it just puts it in. Okay, so let's put this to practice. We're on a very wet, I mean, look at the weather, it's so foggy and crap outside. Right, I'm on a straight, on a wet country road in England, and we're gonna try this 4-wheel drive system and just see how it goes. Okay, so that's first gear, flat. Not a single squirm, 230 horsepower, little car. You couldn't do that in a front-wheel drive car. It would spin up and go crazy, or the traction control would kick in and stop you from having fun. This thing plants it, man. It's so good. There's a tuning company called ABT, or ABT, or however you pronounce it. They can currently get 330 horsepower out of an S1. 330 horsepower. Can you imagine what that would be like in something this light? 4-wheel drive, manual. It's got to be done, man. You know, it'd be so cool, maybe in sort of 18 months, 2 years, just to give this thing a sort of fresh sense of humor. I might just take this thing here and see if they can up that torque, up that horsepower. It'd be hilarious. Okay, so what else is really cool about the S1 is the whole reason this car exists is because 2 years ago, Audi launched the A1 Quattro. You've probably seen it. It's like an A1 on steroids, and it has a bit of a Group B rally theme going on. It's pumped up. But while that car was amazing, it was only available in left-hand drive, which is pretty pointless for the UK, as we're all right-hand drive. But also, I think they made 350 worldwide, and 35 of those came to England. So not only are they left-hand drive, they're also really hard to get. But the response to the A1 Quattro was such that Audi ended up launching the S1. And the great thing about this is it's actually more powerful than the A1 Quattro. Maybe it weighs a bit more, but you've got a few more creature comforts. You've got a fantastic Bose sound system, you know, comfy seats, heated seats, all of that type of thing. I thing about this thing is, because it's so compact and small, in England we have lots of tight country roads, and you can thread this thing through it like a mosquito, you know, it just flies through. It's a really compact, nimble thing, and I love that. It's great, especially when you jump out of something like the F12, which is a bit of a beast. Yeah, this is quite a refreshing experience actually, and woohoo! Oh, this is cool, this is great fun. Just makes you feel like a cheeky boy racer. It's great. It's funny, I've spoken to people who are like, oh, the S1's so good, but I'd only buy it if it was available with a twin clutch box. And like, I get that, but the whole appeal of this thing is that stick. It just makes this car so much more fun. I understand it when you need a flappy paddle gearbox or like a twin clutch gearbox for a car which has got crazy horsepower. Supercars are great for that because sometimes things are happening so fast, it's nice to not have to sort of think about changing gears and etc. Anyway, that's a separate topic. But in this car, because it's so capable and it plants all of that power down 100% of the time, having this stick just makes it such a playful thing. And the gearbox is great too. Despite this thing being turbocharged, when you heel and toe, the blip of the throttle does match up nicely. You don't have to over blip it. You just drop a cog and do one. It's great. Power! Boom! Awesome. You know what's great about it is, okay, it's first of all it's painted in a vibrant yellow, which Audi call Vegas yellow, and the moment you approach this car, it puts a cheeky grin on your face because it just looks so much fun. This car as well has the Quattro styling kit on it, and I think it elevates the car from what looks, you know, fairly cool to making it like a bit more chunky. It's got like a nice wing on the roof, and it's added this sort of styling parts which, just when you step into it, enhance the environment beyond a sort of normal A1. You've got these sort of like really cool banana yellow wraps around the driver's console here, and red accent highlights, and the headlights are so cool. They're one of the most detailed, cool looking headlights I've seen on any car, which for such a small little fun thing is great. Now of course, this thing is not the cheapest of hot hatches. This particular car as well is coming out at about £30,000, which I know is mental for a small car. In its space, it's not the cheapest of cars, but when you get in this thing compared to other things in this market space, you do feel where that extra cash has gone, and just every touch point is quality. What don't I like about the S1? Well, this I'm sure is just a personal thing, but I don't really gel with these seats. They're okay for like a daily driver, but I don't know. Considering these as well are the sort of sports upgrade seats, they feel more like a chair, you know? They feel like someone's got like quite a plush office chair and put it in this car. And in terms of having like a sporty driving setup, I don't think this seating position really suits it that much. Anyway, it's not a big deal and they look cool. Okay guys, and that was a brief introduction to my little Audi S1. No doubt you're going to be seeing a bit more of this car in future clips, even if it's as a support car for, you know, cameras and stuff on road trips. Yeah, all in all, I can only sing the praises of this car. It's so much fun. Manual gear stick, 4-wheel drive, 230 horsepower in such a lightweight small car. It's a great thing. Yeah, so gonna be having lots more fun with it, but if anything, this car has sort of inspired me